Fisher Wallace Labs is we think of ourselves as a mental health company, not a brain stimulation company, but that's what we're starting with as a mental health company. We've been actually around since 2009. My co-founder and I commercialized a proof of concept device under a grandfathered 510K. I don't know if you're familiar with the FDA 510K process and in how in the 70s, categories of devices were grandfathered in, and cranial electrotherapy stimulation was one of them. And so we were able to market a brain stimulation device for depression, anxiety, and insomnia without having a pivotal trial, without having kind of the typical things that you need today. That's now been changed, and we're going through a PMA process for depression and a new 510K process for anxiety. But during that period of time where we were able to take advantage of that process, we sold $40 million worth of our version 1 device, which is really a proof of concept device, through 14,000 prescribers. And we were able to fund some pilot research, which kind of laid the groundwork for what we knew we would have to do in the future with larger trials. So over the last 4 years, we've been really focused on getting the data we need to get through a PMA and to commercialize our version 2 device, is what you're seeing on the left-hand side here. So in 2022 and 2023, we ran 2 trials, one for depression, 255 subjects with a principal investigator who had done one of the early Spravato trials. We just looked at 4 weeks of treatment, so an acute treatment, and we had statistical significance at weeks 1, 2, and 4, where we were measuring on the Beck Depression Inventory. And I think most importantly, we had a really large effect in the first week. And there's very few things that work to treat depression in the first week. Esketamine is one of them, ECT, theta burst, kind of a concentrated series of TMS treatments. And so, I think and we had no serious side effects. So like most non-invasive brainstim, it's very safe. But we were able to demonstrate very rapid action in depression. And then in anxiety, we did a 200 subject study with the Seattle Police Department. And also we had a week 2 endpoint there. It was 4 weeks of treatment, primary endpoint win at week 2, p-value, under 0.001, no serious side effects. So we believe that study may be enough to get through the 510K process. We're going to find out. We're going through a pre-sub process there. And for the PMA for depression, we partnered with Mass General, and Dr. Maurizio Fava has been designing our pivotal over the last couple of months. He's the psychiatrist in chief at Mass General and associate dean of clinical research at Harvard Med School. And when he saw our 4-week data, his reaction is, you have a great signal here, and the most important thing that we can do in this field is increase access, right? Now this device, our research device, cost $36 to manufacture. The device you see on the left is probably going to cost, we're about 6 months of engineering left on it, about $65, $70. So, and it's a very easy device to use, and we ended up hiring the industrial designer behind Beats and Nest, because I wanted a device that looked like a consumer wearable, kind of looked like something Apple might build, so that it kind of helps to break down the stigma and make brain stimulation approachable, right? Especially for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, which has the highest prevalence of depression. So we have kind of, as far as a business model, and we've been raising a Series A for the past month. I think we found our lead. We have a number of investors that I think are going to come on board after the lead, and we're going to be using that money to fund this pivotal for the PMA, as well as get Oak into production, and we're going to build about 7,500 units for pilot testing, and we're focusing on the VA for our reimbursement channel. So. Dr. David Shulkin joined us a couple of months ago. I've known him for a couple of years. to really help guide our VA strategy. And in a nutshell, we can develop a number of pilot programs at the VA that can convert into contracts through something called the CRADA process. And there's a huge acute need there for mental health treatment. And again, access is the problem. There's just a long waiting list to get care. And so I think we have, and Medicaid is another reimbursement channel. We were able to get Maine Medicaid to cover our version 1 device under that grandfathered 510K period. So we have confidence in those two channels. I think the other ones we'll get. It'll take some time to onboard them. And while we're doing that, I think there is a real self-pay market here. We've seen that with Spravato and a number of other rapid depression treatments, as well as other kinds of things that have been slow to get mass reimbursement. So most of our version 1 customers we're paying out of pocket. And so we have about 60,000 of them that are daily users at this point. So that's tens of millions of potential revenue at launch just in upgrading our version 1 customers. I think the other kind of important point I think is that I want to distinguish. This is a very simple. I think of it a little bit like the Google Cardboard, if you remember. I know the VR market is very different than this market's much larger and much healthier, but I look at this kind of device as the simplest, lowest cost, but yet having all the benefit of really high quality therapeutic. But when I look out over the marketplace, we have in brain stimulation, there's a lot of focus on brain imagery and using closed loop to customize brain stimulation to real-time brain activity. And I think there's huge promise in that, and we're beginning to see that in the data. And I do look to that with this device in the future. I think we want to commercialize something that's simpler and that is a little bit easier to manage, and you don't even need a cell phone to operate this. This can be used standalone. We are building Bluetooth into it, and there are things that we're developing on the software side. But this is about as simple as you can get, and I think it's hard to beat the cost on that. Does anyone have a question I can answer while I'm up here? Yeah.
Yep. Can you explain a little bit how it works?
Yeah, sure. So it's a transcranial alternating current stimulation device, TACS. So it's very differentiated from other TS. Yeah. So yeah, sorry. Yes. Yeah, there's an electrode. No, right. It could be a bracelet. No, there's an electrode on either side of the head, and patients wear it for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes before bed. We did do a pilot study on insomnia, and that was sham controlled, and we did increase total sleep time by 48 minutes per night by the 4th week, a half an hour difference in the first week. And we are also, we're kind of past the first phase of review at the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation. We submitted a letter of intent there with Nalaka Gunaratne at UPenn as a PI. So Alzheimer's is also a target of ours. But my goal here is to get I want to sell 5 million units in the first year, and I think there's not a lot of brain stimulation products that you can actually say there's a realistic shot of doing that. I think in this case we've built a model and an ability to do that, everything from the look and the data to the manufacturing. That's it for me. Yeah, thank you.